And this is tetrahedral. Let us select oxygen and I right click the mouse. So it has selected oxygen, and oxygen, obviously you know that it is in the tetrahedral position in water. So I'll add hydrogens. So please see, if I rotate this, it has made a water molecule, and it is obvious that there are two lone pair of electrons. It will not show these lone pairs to you. I'll also like to tell you that you can actually translate a molecule like this, right? You can rotation, I've already told you, and you can also rotate the zoom in and zoom out the molecule. You can also rotate the molecule with respect to the z axis. All these things, while you practice the software, you will come to know, right? So this is the water molecule, right? So water molecule is a very small molecule, and in this case when we clean the geometry we immediately get good results because it is a very small molecule. So the initial guess geometry is almost close to the actual geometry. So let us clean it, that is we are applying the pre-optimization algorithm and it is asking us to save it. So let us save it with the name of H2O. Yeah, so it is optimized. Now we want to calculate the bond angle. You can calculate the bond length also. So bond info, if you go, you get the bond length. I have already told you that. Now friends, we'll learn how to see the bond angles. For that we are supposed to select this. I will click on this, so it will get selected. It will turn yellow. That means this atom is selected. Then I'll press on control. Then now it is selected 3 atoms. Please bear in mind that you have to first select an atom and then press control and select other atoms. Then you go to monitor. It is showing angle. So it is giving you 104.52. So this is the actual bond angle. If you know the experimental value, it is coming out to be almost same as the experimental value. So we don't need to actually optimize it. It has already given us the final geometry. You can actually optimize it if you want. So the next is, please note this, you can ask your students to make a table and note this value. Now there are two methods to make H2S. Either you can select this atom and change atom. So you can change the atom from the periodic table like this, right? And okay, and it will become sulfur. So you can do that, or you can altogether cancel this. Molecule has changed. Do you wish to save before closing it? No. So you can make a new molecule, and just like water you can select sulfur, tetrahedral, and then you can add hydrogens. So it will add 2 hydrogens. Then you can clean the geometry and save it as H2S. So let us again see what is the bond angle. It has converged the geometry optimization. Again press Ctrl to select it. Again go to monitor, and then you can see the angle 92.10. This is the angle that you get experimentally also, almost same angle. So now you have used this. You can actually devise a problem. You can ask your students to do this on Arguslab, and then you can ask them why is this variation. And this is only one problem. You can actually add many more. Any bond angle or bond length we can calculate. So this was one of the problems that I wanted to discuss. I just wanted to give you a flavor. Now let us come to another problem, a very important one in first year of chemistry, which is conformational analysis of butane. So it is sometimes it becomes very difficult to explain to students how stereoisomers work, how conformers by virtue of rotation through the single bond are working. So all that you can very well show on Arguslab. So let us now make butane. So obviously carbon in tetrahedral, and let us check whether automatic bonds are off or on. So I'm switching them on. 1, 2, see. Now I have deliberately made this. This is way long than the normal carbon-carbon single bond. Now I am adding hydrogens. Okay, and you can remove this. Yeah. So afterwards, now can you think, is this the geometry of carbon? Like butane? No, definitely not. So let us clean it and find out whether, yeah. So we have cleaned it, and this is what now we have got. This looks like an actual butane molecule maybe. So it is very different from my initial geometry. That was my initial geometry that I had given to the software. It has pre-optimized this geometry. This is the optimized geometry according to this software, according to the data that is already fed in this software. Said this is pre-optimized or initial guess geometry. Now from here we will optimize it. So for optimization, let us go to calculation and find out optimized geometry. Let us use PN3. So please see the optimization is merged. And now I like to tell you, I told you that I'll tell you how to see the calculation results. There is this icon, you can click on this output file. It will give you the output file. It will open something like this, and there are many things here. This is the information about the run, whatever you like gave it. For example, we asked it to calculate via quantum mechanical methods. Remember, we checked into that box PM3. So all these things are there, and then this is the input atomic information. This is also called Z matrix. You can draw it, and when computer softwares were not that developed, all this was to be done manually. We had to give this data to the software, but now everything is done by the software. These are the references now. So this can become very long. So just see geometry optimization. This time it took 51 steps. I had given it 200. You remember in the case of benzene or water, it only took 17 steps. Here it is taking 51 steps. So now it is giving you these properties. Final geometry energy in atomic units, final geometry energy in kilocal per mole. So and heat of formation also it is giving in kilocal per mole. So this is the thing. From here you can note down the energy, and you can ask your student to note down the energy. I'll show you afterwards in the slides that it has, we will make all the conformers and then we will plot the energy versus the torsion angle. Now select on all these. When it all turns yellow, it means it has become, it has the whole molecule has been selected. Now go to label all atoms, right? So once you label all the atoms, you can very well see all the atoms. This is hydrogen atom, atom number 10, carbon atom number 3, C2, C1. Why this was necessary? Because now we have to calculate the torsion angle. Now this was first where the torsion angle is 0. You can see this is eclipsed conformation. I'm sure all of you will agree that along C2, C3, if you rotate it like this is eclipsing, right? So this is eclipsed conformation. Now let us change the torsion angle. So as an angle here also you will select, now press Ctrl and select all these, right? Now if you go on monitor, you will see it is, all these things are not highlighted, only torsion is highlighted. So it is giving you torsion as 0, right? Now you have to ask the student to do it for 60, 120 and likewise till 360. 360 will again be equal to 0. So let us change it. Let me change it to 60, right? So yeah, how do I do that? So when you click on this angle, it will give you a value, set value. Click on that and now you can specify the torsion angle. So let us make it 60 degree. So you please concentrate here, because as soon as you make it 60, the structure will change. Now the structure has changed. Now my dear friends, again you have to find out the energy of this structure. Here something very interesting happens. Mostly students again optimize it and then they find out the energy. Afterwards they change it to 120, again find out the energy. Do it for 240 and 360 and find out the energy. And they are very surprised to learn that all the energies are equal. How is that possible? Why is that happening? Can you think of a reason? Because that is a very basic thing. But every time I have observed this, that if I give this problem to students, they always optimize all these structures and then say that the energies of all these structures are equal. Obviously they will come out to be equal, because when you are giving it 60-degree torsion angle, then it is varying that. When you are optimizing it, it will vary according to all the bond angles and bond length, slight variations, and it will give you the most stable structure. The most stable structure obviously is the staggered form. So it will give you the energy of the staggered form. So whether your torsion angle was 60 or 120 or 0 or 360, it is always giving you the energy of the staggered form. So friends, please tell the students here, introduce the concept of single point energy and geometry optimization, the difference between two. Here we will do single point energy. Single point energy means we have fixed the geometry. We are not optimizing the geometry. We have fixed it. 60 degree is the torsion angle, no variation is needed. In that case, you will not optimize geometry, you will go to energy. And now you will select the method and then you will calculate the energy only. Please keep in mind that if you are selecting for one conformer AM1 method, yeah, any of these methods, then please select for all the conformers in that experiment only that method. Do not select for one conformer AM1 and for second conformer MNDO. So it runs it and we can view the calculations from here. We can find out the energy. You can see the energy here, right? This is the energy. Similarly, again you go and set value, then you can make it 120, 180. So you will do for all like 0, 60, 120, 180, 240 and 360. And then please ask your students to make a table that I'll just show in the presentation. That is how you can do this conformational analysis of butane. So I'm sure you must have liked doing experiments on computers. So once you've done it, you've explained it to your students, they have optimized all the structures of butane, conformers of butane. After that, you can ask them to arrange it in a tabular form. They can report the results like this. This table is, you can also use any which format you want. For example, I have asked them to arrange it in this form, that torsional angle is mentioned, then the structure, then the energy in atomic units and kilocalories per mole. So they can plot the conformational energies of butane with respect to the torsional angle on any spreadsheet software. So this is how we can do any which problem of chemistry on Arguslab. I am sure you must be excited now to devise lesson plans of your own so that you can make chemistry education in your class very interesting. So friends, I hope you enjoyed this learning. Software is not a problem. The thing is, so many softwares are available, but how you can make things interesting for your students, that is where the part of a teacher comes. We should never think that computers can replace teaching, but here your creativity will come. We have tried to give you a tool which you can use in your classes to give us very good lesson plans.